And welcome back. We are now at part 3 of this week's new comics, bitches! So let's get right back to it. Okay, we're still going to continue with the majors. And we're going to go with War of the Green Lanterns Aftermath, numero uno. One of two. So only 2 issues of this. The first thing that we got to deal with is we have to talk about the War of the Green Lanterns. Basically, Krona, a former candidate for Guardian, or I can't remember if he was a candidate for being Guardian or if he actually was a Guardian. Or if he was one of the first Green Lanterns. I kind of skimmed a little bit of what came before, but a lot of shit went down. Basically Krona took the entities of all of the different colors and used them against the Guardians. And each Guardian was infected with a different spectrum's entity. And there was one left, and it just so happened to be yellow. So Parallax went back into the central battery. So what happens? The yellow impurity is restored. And it affects everybody except for the people who have been infected by Parallax before, namely Hal, Kyle, Sinestro, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner. So these guys have got to, they've got to try and fight their way out, and try and get Parallax out of the central battery so that the impurity can be taken out. And because all of the whole of the Green Lantern Corps, except for those 5, are completely, or except for those 4, I should say, are completely under Krona's control, and ultimately, or Parallax's control, but ultimately belong to Krona. It ends badly because they do have to put on the rings of the different spectrums because all of the Green Lantern rings are corrupted. It's causing them to fight each other as well. So what's got to happen is, like for instance, Kyle takes the blue ring, Hal takes the yellow ring, Guy takes the red ring, and John takes the purple ring. Or no, it wasn't the purple ring. It's one of the indigo ring. I can't remember. But anyway, it does not turn out well for. No, I'm sorry. It's indigo is anyway. Basically, long story short, because Mogo, the planet Green Lantern, is such an influence on what's going on. Basically, John Stewart has to kill Mogo. He destroys an entire planet, but ultimately it's just killing Mogo because he believes it. Because he's the soldier, and he believes that one life versus thousands, perhaps millions of others, is justifiable. Now, in the aftermath, not everybody sees it that way. And what's more so is that the ring has unselected Hal Jordan, and his ring has actually gone to Sinestro. So Hal is out. He is no longer Green Lantern, and Sinestro is. which, going back to what we were talking about with the DC renumbering, Sinestro looks like he's actually going to be the Green Lantern of that series, at least for a while. Hal's kind of out of it. So that's a pretty interesting twist. But a lot of people are not happy about this, particularly Kilowog. He's very angry that Sinestro, that even though Hal actually saved the day by killing Krona, which has the Guardians freaked out to all hell because a human took out a Guardian. So that's bad. That's bad for the Guardians, which is probably one of the reasons that Hal was booted out. But you got Kilowog. He's so upset with Sinestro being a Green Lantern again that he says, "Fuck it, if he's here, then I'm gone." Now Selak, he doesn't really want to have that happen because there's a lot of recruiting that still needs to go on, and they're going to need Kilowog's ability to train. In the meantime, like I said, not too many people are happy with what John did. John seems to be pretty comfortable with it. And the people that are pissed off at him include Kyle, because Kyle believed that there was another way, but John saw no other way. So, we have a feeling that John is gonna maybe not come out of this so well. But who else is really looking like who's not gonna come out so well is Sinestro, because Sora, his daughter, who really wants Sinestro dead, by the way. Also, basically, some of the GLs are conspiring to execute Sinestro, because of everything he's done. But Sinestro doesn't even want the ring. He doesn't want to be a GL. We've got, so we've got some interesting moments there. We also just, as a side note, this may play a larger part, is that all of the GLs are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. So that, again, that it seems like kind of a throwaway, but it might be a larger thing. Tony Bedard wrote this, one of the architects of the War of the Green Lanterns. Does a pretty good job in summation of what happened. This is only going to be 2 issues long, so I don't really know where, other than that this is taking it into the next series. So August is going to be our next issue, obviously. Mid-August is going to be our next issue. Late August, whatever. And then that's going to go right into Green Lantern #1. So, like I said, whatever is going on now will have an effect on the future of DC. It's like I said, it's a good issue, well drawn. Miguel Sepulveda does some good work here. It's not great. It's a passable comic. It's, I guess, worth the $2.99. Again, the War of the Green Lanterns was an interesting idea. I think ultimately, conceptually, it fell a little short. And maybe that's why this just doesn't, it was intriguing enough to definitely hold my interest, but after catching up on it rather quickly, borrowing it from one of my friends, but I don't know, maybe maybe Green Lantern just doesn't have the legs that he used to during, Rebirth and, Blackest Night, Brightest Day, because, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? The Shadow knows. Anyway. So we're going to move on to Batman number 712. Again, Tony Daniel writing. I will start off by saying that this particular issue of Batman has some of the shittiest Batman art that I've seen in a long time. Got Steve Scott and Andy Smith doing pencils. It just looks really blocky and terrible, and I don't know why Tony Daniel didn't do the art himself, because that's really where he excels. He's a pretty good writer, but he's not that great of a... He's a pretty good writer, but he's much better at the art. It still has me asking, who is this Riddler? Is this somehow Edward Nygma? I still don't get that. That's still something I'm not picking up. I don't know. Please help me. If you know, please tell me what the fuck is going on. And they are, him and Enigma, his daughter, are assaulting the Riddler anyway. Are assaulting the Falcone compound, Mario Falcone's compound. Batman's still looking for Two-Face, figuring out what's going on. Gilda and Mario are, just kind of, they're kind of trying to basically keep Two-Face's people at bay, because they've all kind of, ganged, everybody's kind of ganging up on Mario now. And, well, Mario meets, what I'm assuming is his end at the hands of Two-Face. And once again, it is Gilda and Two-Face, Gilda and Harvey. And through a series of events, Gilda convinces Harvey not to kill her, even though she did pretty terribly betray him. But she still has his coin. Sorry, I'm going to try and speak up because the fucking air conditioner just kicked back on. Anyway, it's not a good day for Batman all around, because there's really no success here, with the exception of, well, he almost has Dent, but then takes a slug to the head. Fortunately, just a .22 caliber slug. It's always... Whenever anybody gets shot, and whenever a hero gets shot in the head in one of these comics, it's always that glancing blow right off the skull. But also we've got Katrina Falcone, who seems to have split, to go to school, basically giving up the idea of her being Catgirl. I'm interested in seeing what Tony Daniel develops here. I mean, if this is kind of leading to the place where, ultimately Dick is going to have to throw up his hands and say, look, I'm not Batman, I don't want to be Batman anymore, and I'm going to go be Nightwing again. If that, because because Batman in the reboot, in the renumbering, is going to be Bruce Wayne, all the time. So, Dick is not going to be, he's going to be Nightwing again. So, again, this has me questioning, whether or not this is just setting it up. In which case, if they are, why are they renumbering it? Again, these are the things that are just baffling me. I'm still interested to see where it goes, but at the same time, I am starting to become more and more concerned. This is more looking like a mistake than it is a good thing. As far as, like, the big names. Some of the smaller names could come out of this smelling like roses, and that's cool to me. But other than that, I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be good. But again, more and more, it's just and just the art. I mean, if for no other reason, the writing is pretty decent, but the art is just so awful. It's almost unbearable to read. So anyway, we'll be back in just a few moments. We'll try and get through and maybe finally get to the books of the week. And so stick around. We'll be right back.